Dobry wieczór, my towarzyszy, dobro pожаловать, всем привет. Good evening, guys, welcome, and hope everyone's keeping well. Guys, this is just I want to catch up with everybody about the Salty Boy and the Sparrow rendezvous, supposed that M.I.Mooney was propagating in the Times rag. And someone contacted me today to say, Paddy, the story hasn't gone away. And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, have a look at the news again. And while I didn't find anything in today's news, I hadn't finished my search. I did find a YouTube video with an interview from Times Media with Mr. Mooney, spouting all sorts of spurious nonsense and just sort of wild speculation and accusations, as was in the print toilet paper that the Times put out. So basically, to get into it, so John Mooney, journalist for the Irish Times, and it's a, when I say journalist, that's a questionable title for this guy, because what he puts out is just like I said, there's a lot of spurious allegations, accusations and nonsense, and he is known for in the past he has previously put out stories where he asked permission to print photos and quotes from friends of mine. He never got the permission, but ran with it anyway. And he doxed a personal friend of mine as well, which he's a complete and utter scumbag for doing. So yeah, well, a lot of people in Ireland also class this guy as an agent, because he constantly quotes MI5 and MI6 or makes reference to them, and he even does it in this particular video as well, which I'm going to post a link to along with this video. So this man lacks journalistic integrity. Like I said, he's published things before that he wasn't given permission to publish. He just ran with it anyway, and he's never apologized for it. So getting on to, I just want to gloss over the whole Cobalt story. Okay, so Cobalt too, we're just going to so apparently this person is they're saying it's an Irish Parliamentarian. So the rumour was that it was a senator, so somebody sitting in the Shanad. Now it seems to have shifted to somebody in the Dáil. There was a while back, there was members of the Dáil standing up and saying, I'm no Russian agent, I'm no KGB, I'm no FSB, I'm no GRU, whatever. And the whole thing turned very farcical. But the Speaker of the House was actually telling people to knock it off, and they seemed to want to have the story silenced, or it seemed embarrassing for this to be going on in a Dáil session. So just to get into it, the parliamentarian is supposed to have met initially with a Russian diplomat. Okay, so he's referred to in the video, in the interview, with an unknown female. Mooney talks about the parliamentarian meets with a Russian diplomat named Sergei Prokopiev. Okay, so Mooney later talks about this guy as he's not just a diplomat, but he's a handler and he's a GRU agent. Okay, so their initial meeting was said to be outside Dublin. Location was not disclosed for lots of different reasons. Didn't allude to any of the reasons. Lots of different reasons. Doesn't help anybody. You know what I mean? So it casts a lot of doubt. It does more to cast doubt on the story than it does to give any credence to it. Okay, so the meeting was outside Dublin, location undisclosed for lots of different reasons. It involved an Irish parliamentarian and a Russian diplomat who Mooney claims was a member of the intelligence branch of the Russian military known as the GRU. Well done. Were they wearing GRU armbands or something like that, Mooney, you fucking pleb? Or how were you able to establish that? Now I know this guy is claiming this guy is claiming that Ireland doesn't have intel services as such, but we do have very good and inquisitive Gardaí and defence. Our defence forces have a good intelligence branch. I don't believe any of it. We don't even have a good defence force. Never mind have a very good intelligence branch to our defence forces. We can't defend ourselves. We can barely, muster together a peacekeeping force to send on UN missions and things like that. So I'm not dismissing people who pull on the uniform of the Irish Defence Forces, or even the Garda uniforms for that matter, but they're not known for doing a great job, and they're not known for stopping crimes or espionage within the country. Yeah, it's spurious nonsense and waffle at best. So yeah, and okay, so you'll notice in the video that Mooney and the female voice interviewing him keep saying we, but they both never allude to who we is. So it's just we. Is that MI5 and MI6 we, or is it the Gardaí we, or they don't allude to anything. But that's, I mean, the whole story is suspect, as is the name given to the Irish parliamentarian, like Cobalt. Something salty going on here. He's a salty boy. Anyway, so according to Mooney, Russia is being accused of causing tensions between both communities in Northern Ireland to upset Brexit, or they were, and these Prokofiev, or however you say his name, Sergei, the diplomat / handler / GRU agent, was organising meetings between the parliamentarian and members of both communities to upset Brexit. Now, upset Brexit, what does that mean? Does that mean cause Brexit, or stop Brexit, or what the actual fuck does it mean? Because he goes on to say that this upsetting of Brexit undermined the West. So does stopping Brexit undermine the West? Does causing Brexit undermine the West, or does just, you know what I mean? Which, and who is the West for that matter? I mean, is it the British public, i.e. the citizens of Great Britain who were actually voting on Brexit, or was it the British, the Americans, the Germans, the French? Is it the collective West as a whole, or who the fuck is it? Is it the EU? Who is it? Anyway, Mooney goes on to talk about how we don't have an intelligence agency as such. You don't say. Intelligence in this country is a bit, when it comes to the defence forces and the Gardaí, there's so much slip. We can't stop shoplifting in Dublin and around the country. So how do we stop? If we can't stop a shoplifter from doing his thing, how can we stop people who are trained in espionage? And I mean the most trained people in the world. If we can't stop the simplest of crimes, how can we stop the toughest of crimes? So like I say, Mooney goes on to talk about how we don't have an intelligence agency as such, like MI5 or MI6, and he doesn't mention any other intelligence agencies. That should be noted, because he doesn't mention like the CIA, MI6, the FSB, or any of the other big intel agencies. For which there's many, but he does seem to mention the ones who are kind of close to his heart. I mean, the ones who are closer to home. Yeah, I wonder why. So, the interviewer and Mooney then go on a ramble about how Irish intelligence would regularly target Russian diplomats for monitoring and or surveillance, and the parliamentarian wouldn't have been the target initially, but came to their attention through their monitoring of a diplomat, and namely this guy Sergei in this instance. So our intel services just happened across him when several Russian diplomats seemed to be grooming him to get in touch with both Unionists and Loyalists in and around the time of the Brexit sort of referendum, and when the vote was to take place. Is any of this making sense to anybody? Who's to gain for this? What does Russia gain from this? And this is Russia spending an awful lot of money to send a Sparrow, to have a diplomat and various other members of the intelligentsia to groom one guy, one parliamentarian, to kind of lavish him, and then to have a Sparrow, like, you know what I mean, throw up the legs in a foreign country, as Mooney's going to allude to get what? To get our state secrets. What state secrets do we actually have that's any use to the Russians? You know what I mean? Oh, but the Brits tell us everything, so we don't want the Irish parliamentarians talking, like, you know what I mean, sharing the secrets that might be told from these guys to these guys might get told to the bad Irish comrades. So the phone cut out on me there because of battery, but like I was saying, so Mooney ranted about Russia having like a bureaucratic network here that were all like a spy network that were all masquerading as diplomats, excuse me, and these guys are trying to squeeze our parliamentarians for information, like naive parliamentarians, information like state secrets, and the likes of Cobalt, the salty boy. You know, he would have so much Sparrow connie juice in his eyes that this guy can't even see straight, and can't see the wood from the trees. But Mooney says that the damage by Cobalt's rendezvous with Prokopiev and the Sparrow is not yet measurable, but it is significant. Like, again, it's all spurious. It's all the damage is significant, but it's not, can't be measured. This is classified, but can't be talked about. They met in a location outside of Dublin, but we can't name it for various reasons. He may have travelled abroad to get his nuts off with this honey trap, aka Sparrow. Mooney, you should stick to writing fiction. Your columns are known to be fiction anyway, because there's nobody thinks that they're fact. But then again, just to wrap it all up, Mooney seems to have a personal vendetta against the person described as Cobalt, because he says that he's non-apologetically remaining active in Parliament, but yet Mooney doesn't offer any reason for why this guy should resign or not be active in Parliament. So it's a lot of accusatory stuff with that's not evidence based, and like I'm saying, it's speculation, it's conjecture, it's propaganda. That's what it is, and it's coming straight from British intel. I don't care if Mooney says that he has sources in, like he has Irish intel sources. I don't give a shit that he says that. He can say that Michael McKelgan passed him information as well. I would listen. John Mooney, Michael McKelgan, Neil Robinson, Ronan McGreevy, any of the Southeast military veterans, all of your little group who push Russophobia in this country, MI5 or MI6, any of you guys, I'm open to debate all of you, any and all of you. You can have a panel of 5 against my panel of 1, which will be me, and I will debate you on the war in Ukraine, Russia's influence in Europe, the Skripals, Litvinenko, anything that you claim that Russia's responsible for on European soil. I will debate any of you guys. Yeah. My wife is Russian. I'm Irish. I've been to the Russian embassy. What am I, a Russian spy now? Am I the GRU? Am I the KGB? Piss away out of it, a lot of you. I'm sick of your nonsense. Stop printing this shite in our print media. Stop posting this on social media, because the internet is written in ink, not in you can't erase it. And yeah, because you're not doing any favors. You're making our country look a laughing stock. You're making the Irish state looking like a laughing stock. You're idiots, all of you. Okay, I will debate you guys. You can come and arrest me. And by the way, I'm not suicidal either. Okay, just in case. But yeah, stop with your nonsense, and yeah, come and debate me on an open platform in front of an audience, if you're so if you're able to. Oh, but I forgot, your information is sensitive and classified and all the rest of it. Fuck off. To my comrades, moi towarzyszy, spokojnej nocy, do skorowa. Good night, guys. See you soon, and na zdrowie.